Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to discuss about diseases of fish. There are different etiological agents which are causing the diseases of fish, such as mechanical etiological agents, biological etiological agents. Today we are going to see the biological etiological agents such as viruses, bacteria, fungi and different parasites. First of all, we will see the viral diseases of fish. You remember that virus is a intracellular obligate parasite, obligate intracellular parasite, right? These, first of all, we are going to see the spring viremia of carp, one of the important viral disease of fish. The etiological agent of spring viremia of carp is Rhabdovirus carpio. The affected species are Chinese major carps and Indian major carps. The Chinese carps are silver carp, grass carp, common carp, crucian carp, and the Indian major carps such as Katla, Labiorohita and Srinus mrugal. The clinical signs of this disease are different momentary disturbances such as loss of coordination and equilibrium. The other clinical signs are common to other viral diseases as such. Suppose, for example, there is a exophthalmos and abdominal distension. These kind of clinical signs can also be observed in other viral diseases. The typical clinical signs for this disease is inflamed and swollen vent. Histopathologically, we can observe the edema and hemorrhages in different internal organs. The pronounced inflammation and hemorrhage of swim bladder, one of the important organ of fish, is given the name for this disease, the infectious swim bladder disease. It means spring viremia of carp is also called as infectious swim bladder disease. The diagnostic method for this disease are immunofluorescent antibody test, enzyme linked immunosorbent assay, virus neutralization test. RT-PCR means reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction. Now look at this picture. This picture consists of these mirror carps. Now look at here. This is exophthalmos. Eyeball is protruding out of the eye orbit. Now this abdomen is swollen. This is nothing but the ascites because of the accumulation of the watery fluid in the body cavity. Now if we look at the vent region of this fish, it is somewhat swollen and it is reddish. Microscopically, if we take the histological structure, if we see the histological structure of the liver, we can observe the degeneration and necrosis of hepatocytes. Look at this big arrow with green dot. It is showing the normal hepatocytes, whereas the small arrow with red dot showing the necrosed hepatocytes. Now this is the photomicrograph of intestine of a carp which is infected with spring viremia of carp virus, right? Look at this length of the intestinal villi, which is almost normal, whereas the arrow showing the shorter intestinal villi. Actually what happens is the virus infects the intestinal epithelium and there is degeneration and necrosis. Necrosis tissue become a dead tissue and foreign to the body, that's why it gets sloughed off. That's why there is shortening of intestinal villi. Similarly, the intestinal crypts also showing the discontinuation. There is degeneration and necrosis of intestinal crypts also. Now this is the photomicrograph of the cell culture, where this spring viremia of carp virus is growing. This hollow arrow white arrow is showing the necrosed cell, while the black arrow is showing the live, intact, apparently healthy cells. Now, next disease is infectious hematopoietic necrosis disease. The etiological agent of this disease is rhabdovirus. The infected or affected species of this virus are salmonids such as rainbow trout, Atlantic salmon, brown trout, and non-salmonids such as European eel, herring, and cod. These are the name of the fishes. Then clinical signs. The normal clinical signs in this disease is lethargy or hyperactiveness. Why for this clinical sign occur? Because there is anemia. Why there is anemia? Because this virus infects the hematopoietic tissue of the fish, and that's why there is lesser of the production of erythrocytes, which is causing anemia, and hence there are pale gills. If we lift the operculum of this fish, we will found the pale gills. Then the next clinical signs such as increased pigmentation, exophthalmos, abdominal distension, these are also a common clinical signs for other viral diseases as such. Then the another clinical sign is the fecal cast. Formation of fecal cast is also an important clinical sign for infectious hematopoietic necrosis disease. Then presence of hemorrhages on the skin. A typical presence of hemorrhages at the base of the fin or behind the operculum, behind the skull, and above the lateral line system. These are the clinical signs of this disease. If this fish survives the infection of this infectious hematopoietic necrosis disease virus, then there is scoliosis. What do we mean by scoliosis? Scoliosis means lateral curvature of the spinal cord. Microscopically, we will observe the necrosis of hematopoietic tissue. What it means? That this fish is showing the necrosis in a kidney. Hematopoietic tissue is actually embedded in the anterior kidney of a fish. That's why the name is given to this disease as infectious hematopoietic necrosis disease. Occasionally, we can find intracellular as well as intracytoplasmic inclusion in the acinar and islet cells of the pancreas. The transmission of this disease is direct. The peculiar characteristic of this disease is that this disease occurs at 10 degrees Celsius, and above 15 degrees Celsius the occurrence of this disease is rare. Look at this picture. This picture is showing Atlantic salmon. Look at the lesions. These are actually hemorrhages above the lateral line system. Look at the picture. This is again the dissected Atlantic salmon showing the lateral curvature of the spinal cord. Lateral curvature of the spinal cord is called as scoliosis. Now again, hematopoietic tissue is located in the anterior kidney of fish. Look at this region. This is actually the hematopoietic tissue of the fish, and it is showing rarefaction and necrotic changes. Rarefaction and necrotic changes. Then the next slide is showing the virus particle. This is actually the electron microscopic picture. Ultrastructural change that is occurring in this microtubule of a fish tissue. Now look at these particles. Their one end is truncated while the other end is round. This is bullet shaped virus particle, rhabdovirus. Typical morphology of rhabdovirus. Then the next disease is infectious pancreatic necrosis disease. The etiological agent is the Birna virus. Birna virus is the double-stranded RNA virus. The species affected are rainbow trout, brook trout, brown trout, Atlantic salmon, and several other Pacific Ocean salmon species. The clinical signs of these infectious pancreatic necrosis disease are abnormal spiral and corkscrew swimming pattern. The nervous signs occur due to the infection of this Birna virus in fishes. The general symptoms or the signs are pot belly and exophthalmos. The important peculiar characteristic of this disease is formation of presence of clear or milky mucus. Sometimes there is presence of clear and milky mucus in stomach and intestine. Most of the time the stomach and intestine is empty, and this clear and milky mucus form a pseudocasts. Then hemorrhages in the gut, primarily in the area of pylorexica, is also a characteristic clinical sign. Then microscopically we can observe the necrosis of pancreatic acini, gut mucosa and renal hematopoietic elements. We can also observe the infiltration around the pancreatic acini. Hyaline degeneration of a skeletal muscle can also be observed in such fishes. Another feature of this virus is that it is vertically transmitted. Look at this fry. It is showing the exophthalmos as well as there is distension of the belly, pot-bellied appearance of the fry. Now, this is the photomicrograph of exocrine pancreas. The exocrine pancreas showing necrotic lesions. These are necrotic exocrine pancreas. Arrow is showing the necrotic change. Now, this is the immunofluorescent photomicrograph of a cell in which these viruses are actually growing. These bright spots are nothing but the viruses growing in a cell. Again, electron microscopic picture showing the icosahedral symmetry of the Birna virus. Then the next disease is lymphocytic disease. Causative agent is a iridovirus. Species affected are mostly the telos fishes, that are bony fishes, includes cichlids, gourami, sunfish, sea basses and many other fishes are also affected by this iridovirus. A typical clinical sign or a lesion we can say is a cauliflower-like growth on skin, fins and occasionally on gills. These cauliflower-like growth may vary in size and color from white to yellow. Microscopically, we can observe the basophilic cytoplasmic inclusions in fibroblasts. This virus infects the dermal fibroblast. There is also a presence of chronic lymphocytic inflammation. The virus is self-limiting. Virus is causing self-limiting disease. Self-limiting disease, it means that we do not treat that disease and the disease get resolved. Now look at this picture. This is a sunfish showing this cauliflower-like whitish reddish growth at the end of the dorsal fin. Now this fin is cut and a section is taken. This section is showing these basophilic inclusion in a cytoplasm. This is actually the nucleolus and these are the inclusions in a dorsal fin. Now this is a cichlid fish showing this again whitish growth on a dorsal fin, whitish growth on a dorsal fin. Now weight amount of this dorsal fin is showing the growth, this growth. This cell is actually infected with the lymphocytic disease, lymphocytic iridovirus disease. Now the next disease is epithelioma papillosum, that is fish pox. The causative agent is herpes virus cyprinid, cyprinid herpes virus 1. This is the serotype, actually herpes virus 1. The cyprinid herpes virus 3 actually causing viral hemorrhagic septicemia, while the cyprinid herpes virus 1 is causing fish pox. This disease is mostly occurred in cyprinids and peculiarly in calves. Lesion, a typical lesion of formation of plaque on a body of a fish. Whitish plaques are formed on a body of a fish which are very much harder in nature. This fish pox is also a self-limiting disease. It generally occurs in winter and regresses as the temperature increases. When these lesions heal, they get blackened, and which reduces the aesthetic value of the fish. Microscopically, we can observe these lesions are nothing but the hyperplastic epithelial cells. Sometimes we can demonstrate intranuclear inclusions in these cells. The transmission of this disease is direct. Look at this photograph of koi carp showing this much white plop-like growth on a body. Thank you.